Another important area we're going to look at is fruits, dispersal of fruits and seeds, and germination of seeds. Now, fruit comes from fertilized ovary. Inside the fruit will have seed, and seeds develop from the fertilized ovary. And so, let's look at the definition. How come the fruits? After fertilization, the ovary develops to a fruit. The ovule becomes the seed. The ovary wall becomes the pericarp. And the integument of the ovule, which is like the wall of the ovule, also becomes the seed coat or the tester. Before we discuss of how the seed are being dispersed or germinated, let's look at the classification of fruits. A fruit is either a true fruit or false fruit. It's a true fruit if it's formed from only the ovary. It's a false fruit if the ovary and other part of the flower becomes part of the fruit. A fruit is simple if it's formed from an ovary with one carpel or many carpels that are fused. A fruit can be aggregate fruit if the fruit is formed from a fluorescence group of flowers together, as we have in banana bunch and palm fruit bunch. Then let's come to single fruits. A single true fruit can be fleshy or dry. If it's fleshy, it's either drupe, berry, or asparagium. We use their pericarp to group it here. If the epicarp and mesocarp is fleshy, but the endocarp is hard, it's a drupe, as we have in mango and coconut. But if the whole pericarp is edible, is fleshy, it becomes a berry. But if the rhiz separates the mesocarps, like you find in orange, is asparagium. So we have an example of a drupe as mango here. Example of berry as tomato. Example of asparagium as orange. Let's look at dry fruit. A fruit, when it's dry, it can split open or remain unsplit. If it's the one that split, it becomes dehiscent, dry dehiscent fruit. And we have such fruits in legume. A legume has two sections and split along the two sections, as we have in case of bean pond. You can split it open along the edges. This is one edge, another edge here. So this is a legume, like you find in bean pond. Beans pond. Then we have follicles. Follicle is like a legume, but it has only one section. There isn't along one section, only one side open. But in legume, the two sides open. As we find a kola nut here. Kola nut, bean, pond. Then we have capsule. Capsule has many edges for splitting, like this, as you find in okra. So okra is a capsule. Some fruits, when they get dried, they will not split open. We have acing. Acing are usually one-seeded fruit. When they dry, they don't get split open. Then we have seed cellar. This seed cellar, they have the part of their calyx remaining on the fruit and form hairy structures called pappus. Example of this is palm nut. A seed cellar is like acing, but it has part of its calyx on the fruit, forming hairy structures known as pappus. An example of seed cellar is Tridus. Tridus procumbens. Tridus procumbens. Then we have another group which is also like acing. When dried, it will not split open. But in this type of fruit, the pericarp fuses with the tester of the seed, so everything looks like a single seed. Example of this type of fruit is maize grain. A maize grain is a caropsis. Then we have nut. Of course, nut and acing, they are inseparable, but they call them nut. We have groundnut, we have palm kernel nut, and so on. But groundnut is not strictly a nut. So, example we can give here is palm nut again. A samara is an acing, but when the only thing is that part of the pericarp becomes spread out as wing, as we have in Desmodium. No, not Desmodium, Cobratum. A Samarian can be one-seeded like acing, as we find in palm nut, but it could be more than one seed. But the major thing is that the pericarp is modified into wing, that it become wing dispersed fruit. Example of Samaria is Cobratum. Another group of dry, indehiscent fruit is isoscarpic fruits. For example, Desmodium has many seeds in different compartments. When it becomes dry, each of these seeds fall off as single seed. But in most cases, because of the spiky surface, they get itself attached to the body of an animal and remain on either on the hair or the skin. And definitely, this type of fruit is being dispersed by animal. I've explained to you that a fruit can be true or false. It's false when other parts of flower, other than the ovary, takes part in formation of the fruit. It's simple if it's from one ovary, as we find in prune, e.g. apple. Apple is a false fruit. Pear is also a false fruit. Now, aggregate, when the flower is formed from a group of flowers like inflorescence. And each ovary in the inflorescence, each floret form a fruit of its own. It could be acing, one seed, it could be drupe, it could be berry, as we find a custard apple. Now, there is another one that the whole inflorescence become a fruit. That one will be known as composite or compound fruit, as we find in pineapple. Because the whole inflorescence become the fruit, it's called sorosis. So, example of sorosis is pineapple. Pineapple. Let's now look at some questions on this topic. Question 1. Alkaline pyrogalon was used in an experiment. That experiment must have been connected with A, excretion, B, germination, C, transpiration, D, photosynthesis. Well, to answer this question, you must know the function of alkaline pyrogallon. Alkaline pyrogallon is used to remove oxygen from an environment. So when you remove an oxygen from an environment, you are not likely carry out experiment on excretion, and it could not be transpiration, and it cannot even be photosynthesis. So answer should be B, because we need oxygen, water, and optimum temperature for germination to take place. So when you remove oxygen, you are trying to prove whether oxygen is necessary for germination of seed. So answer is B. Number 2. The plumule is best described as A, part of a cotyledon, B, part of endosperm, C, a miniature shoot, and D, part of testa. Now, plumule describes the part of an embryo in a seed. Embryo is made up of plumule and radicle. Radicle grows into the soil to form the seed, while the plumule grows into the air or the atmosphere to form the shoot. So with that, we can now be able to pick our answer. So plumule is not best described as a part of cotyledon. It's not best described as part of endosperm, and it cannot be described as part of a testa. So the answer, a plumule, is a miniature shoot. Number 3, dry, indehiscent winged fruit formed from one carpel is known as A, schizocarp, B, caryopsis, C, samara, and D, follicle. Schizocarp breaks into 11 seeds. There's no wing mentioned. Caryopsis is an acene that the pericarp of the fruit fuses with the texture. So it cannot be. Follicle is dry dehiscent fruit which split open along one edge. So the answer is samara. Option here is C. Number 4. One-seeded fruit in which the pericarp and seed coat get fused together is known as A, acene, B, samara, C, drupe, and D, caryopsis. We are looking for one-seeded fruit with the pericarp and seed coat fused together. That describes caryopsis. So option D is the answer. Number 5. In bean seed, absorption of water and oxygen before germination is through A, ileum, B, micropyle, C, testa, and D, plumule. Ileum is a scar left by the follicle that attaches the ovule to the placenta. Testa is the skin that covers the seed coat. Plumule is part of the embryo that grows out. So micropyle is a tiny pore through which air and water can enter the seed. So answer to question 5 is option B, micropyle.